Hello, my name is Emma. I love making OCs and different stories for them. It's something that definitely fills my void of a mind. Starting this YouTube channel has allowed me to explore and tell some story ideas I would have never been able to before. Since I feel I have some experience points under my belt now, I thought it would be a perfect time for a challenge. If you are an artist, you most likely use Pinterest. I feel like Pinterest users are 50% artists and then the rest is just the rest. Pinterest is such a hub of creativity for me, even if it's not the best sometimes. I'm sick of the AI, guys. I began thinking about how I could make some kind of art challenge out of it. A OC challenge is fun, a random assortment of prompts like searching hair and outfits, but what would be even more fun is making multiple random characters and mashing them together into their own unique storyline, complete with a randomly generated setting. And that's what we're gonna do today. This is how this challenge is going to work. I am going to generate a random setting online, and the first image that pops up will be the basis for this story. I will also be generating a random year for the time period. You don't have to do this, but I just thought it would give me more direction personally. That is the last of the generators you need. The rest of the challenge is completely on Pinterest. For characters, I searched the following to get my prompts. For the gender of the character, look up album in the search bar. Whatever the gender is of the lead singer will be the gender. For the clothing and accessories, all I did was look up that specific year I randomly generated and hairstyle or clothing or outfit. And the first image that pops up will be your reference image. For body types, I just looked up bodies. For skin, I just looked up skin tone. To get a color scheme, all I did was look up color palette. You can repeat this step as many times as you want to get as many characters as you want. I changed Pinterest accounts to get different results, and that helped. I do take some creative liberties in some places I felt needed it, but it's my challenge. I make the rules. For this video, I will be making 3 characters. If you feel like doing this challenge along with me, I invite you to. It was a really good exercise, and I really felt it got the ideas going. All right, that's enough introduction. Let's get into the video. So we're just gonna do it right here and see what we get. So okay, a vibrant concert hall, that's interesting. Okay, let's go. Yes, so this will be our setting. All right, now let's see what year. Let's do that. All right, I can work with this. Season. Okay, spring. All right, so this is our setting. A concert hall in the spring of 1982. Select. Okay, now we're going to go on to the actual characters. I'm just gonna look up album on Pinterest, and whatever the album is, the singer of the album will be the gender. So, SZA. So our first character will be a woman, female face. And whoever the complexion is, we will do. Okay, cool. We're just gonna do 1982 hair. All right, we'll roll with it. Forgot outfit. Okay. 1982 shoes. Okay. I guess I'll just let myself pick one of these. 1982 accessory. 1982 accessories. Okay, this will be her accessories. I'll take that into interpretation however I want. I don't know yet. Since it is a concert hall, I think it would be really interesting to add in a random instrument. Instruments. This seems like an ad, so we'll go with saxophone. This first player plays the saxophone. First person, so this person is our body type. This person. All right, I love this one. All right, that's our first character done. Album. The whole. I gotta look this up because I don't know. Oh, I did not know that was her. This one will be female as well. I think to maybe try to differentiate skin tones, I'll look up just skin. That's kind of creepy, but I'll just look up skin.
What the heck?
Let's just make a rule. It's gotta be a full face. How about that? Hair? It's the same image. They all kind of seem similar. Let's just go like this. Okay. This would be haha. Outfit. I'm just gonna go to the one that actually has one person. Okay. This is gonna be the same too. Yup. Alright, we'll just go with the second one. Okay. I guess I can just pick one of these. I'll just look up instrument this time. Alright, and body type. We gotta do the one with one person. This is the first one I see with one person. That's what we're going with. Person's theming will be. Alright. It's not a very 80s color palette, but it'll be fun. Boom. Flume? What's Flume? Not sure who that is. Any Flume fans out there? This one's for you. So we got a man. Okay, this is the skin tone we're going for. Okay, so my phone just ran out of storage. We lost some footage, but to recap, this is his hair. This will be his outfit. This will be his shoes, and this will be his accessory. Now we can go on to the rest. We'll look up instrument aesthetics. Okay, so he's a little drummer boy. This will be his color palette. Very patriotic. Hello, editing Emma here. I forgot to add the body type for him. Forgive me. Here is me doing it after the fact. Okay, goodbye. So I gathered all the reference images into these collages to make it a little more organized and easier to see the vision of each. This was harder to keep track of than I thought. I kept missing certain things like body types, so I apologize for this mixed up footage. Most of these characters are random, so I thought a random name would be the move as well. So the first character's name is Hazel Stevenson. I actually like this name a lot. Also, side note, I hope you don't get too attached to the instruments that got chosen. I do change some of that, but technically it was added because of the environment, so I feel like I'm allowed. Hazel was so fun to design, though I did have some trouble with the colors at the end. Her and the next character have similar color palettes, so I struggled making them differentiate from each other. I wanted the group that the characters were a part of to be an orchestra, which in some minimal research seems to mainly focus on string instruments, so I changed Hazel's instrument to a violin instead of a harp. A harp is cool, but I feel its mobility is limited similarly to a piano, and I didn't want that limitation. I also changed the outfit, womp womp me. I couldn't vibe with this, okay? There's so many interesting 80s clothing, and it had to be this. Come on. I redid it and got this much better, but I still made some alterations. I just wasn't vibing with the pants. I know I could have rigidly followed the rules, but she's the main character. I gotta like her. The color palette was pretty desaturated, and I felt it kind of washed out her skin tone, so I brightened up the colors, and that did the trick. I did do a personality generator, but I didn't use it as gospel. I kind of just looked at it as a guideline more than anything. Alrighty, who's ready for the storyline for these characters? So the story will be set in New York in the spring of 1982. New York seemed fitting because there's a whole lot of creative opportunity there. It seemed the most realistic place for an orchestra job. You definitely couldn't do something like that where I live. We meet Hazel. She is the fourth chair violinist in the group. I don't have a name yet. This orchestra organization is the best of the best, world-renowned, and very hard to get into and retain a spot. Hazel has been a violinist since she was a small child. It was always something to lean on and trust for her. Music in general helped her in a lot of ways. She would oftentimes wear headphones blasting any tape she could get her hands on, and sure, she liked music, but that wasn't the reason for this constant noise. It was to stop the voices, to make them disappear out of view to quiet the mob who knew she could see them. Hazel can see ghosts, and there's so many in New York. It wasn't a secret that she could see them either. Millions of people knew her special talent, or thought they did. The fans died down since she looks a lot different than she did when she was 13, but every so often comes a Hazel superfan asking for an autograph, asking if she could contact their dead grandmother, and the dreaded, "Do you think you'll ever bring back Eye into the Unknown?" The answer was always no. Hazel didn't want to be rude, but she wasn't the little girl on TV helping grieving parents contact their dead son anymore. She was a musician, and a good one. Eye of the Unknown was a TV show in the 70s starring Hazel as a child. After her parents found out about her gift, they saw dollar signs. Hazel's gift started off as something nice. The ghosts were her friends. It was peaceful. After the show started, it all changed for her. The show ran for 2 years and was a hit. At first, the fame and success felt good for Hazel, but eventually it did begin to wear her down. Eye into the Unknown was a talk show style TV program. The guests would come in and tell their story, seeing if Hazel could contact their loved one or friend or enemy, whatever it was. The real kicker of the show and the climax of every episode was the guest seeing through to the other side. This was done by Hazel placing her hand over the chosen guest's eyes, then moving her fingers so one eye could see through to the person being contacted. It only lasted about a minute, but always brought the guests and audience to tears. Hazel always hated this part, as if the thing she went through constantly was some kind of marvelous moment to someone else. It wasn't marvelous, it was a nightmare. The more spirit she contacted, the stranger new ones became. They were off and they didn't seem safe. Additionally, the more you address ghosts, more of them become aware you can see them. So she became surrounded by a crowd of people constantly asking for help to move on to the other side. It all came to a head when a ghost or something else, she wasn't sure, broke a barrier Hazel didn't know could be broken. She always comforted the guest of the show that there was nothing to worry about, they couldn't even touch you, but this one could. And all at once, Hazel was terrified. There was something draining about the spirit. It felt as if they took life from her body. She didn't speak for months. The show got put on hiatus, and when she finally felt better, her parents told her it's time to get back on the horse. Hazel knew there was no way out of this, so she lied. Her gift was gone. She couldn't see them anymore. Her parents, no matter how exploitative, were prideful. They couldn't lie to America. Her career was over with a lie. A lie she had to keep up now. She threw herself into whatever could distract her. Music did the trick, so that was her new path. Most ghosts aren't aware of her anymore. They don't know she can see them. And if they do, music drowns them out enough that they'll eventually give up. She is finally at the point where she feels she has control, has a grip on what she's doing. All good things must end eventually, though. Yes! I actually kind of reused this concept. My other OC Bella's story used to be about how she could see ghosts. I don't know, I thought it would be an interesting element to mix in the bag as well as a former child star, why not? I feel like that's an interesting avenue to explore. Child stars, they always have it rough. I feel like I'm going kind of hard on the story. Do you guys like this kind of thing? I feel like I'm a Ramble Andy over here. I was kind of inspired by that movie where they do an exorcism on TV. I never watched it. I saw the trailers, but I imagine Eye into the Unknown is kind of like that. Here's Hazel. I love her so much. This is definitely one of my favorite faces I've drawn in a long time. I just had so much fun. Character 2's name is Dina Bernardi. Very fitting, I'd say. Another good name. W for the name generator. The clothing I got for this character design didn't feel very early 80s to me. I'm sure it could be. I'm not an expert, but from what I've seen, this doesn't feel it. Maybe she's a trendsetter. Let's just go with that. I'm not in love with this outfit. If I ever revisit this again, I will 100% be making changes, but for this challenge and for now, she's fine. I do really like this color palette I got though. Very nice, even if it is kind of similar to Hazel's. I'm not sure how I decided on faces. I just knew I wanted her to have a larger nose. That's it. I don't know. I did take some personality from this generator, but not much. Mostly the lazy part. I see Dina as a girly, sociable elite that doesn't take her job very seriously because she doesn't need to. She will play the saxophone, being one of 2 sax players. Horned instruments are not as abundant in orchestra, but because Dina isn't a very strong player, she needs someone else to carry her. The orchestra has a residency at the concert hall they play at, and Dina's dad owns the building, so she gets special perks. She is also engaged to be married to the conductor of the orchestra. So overall, no matter how mediocre she is at playing, her job is secured. Even though Dina is a nepo baby, she is very well liked by the members in the orchestra. Competitiveness is strong amongst the group, but Dina somehow brings everyone together. I don't think Dina sees sax as her passion. She sees other things over the horizon, but that doesn't stop her from making a sense of community with the others. Not everyone likes her though. Hazel, for one, does not care for her at all. Dina tries, but Hazel has a habit of shutting people out, and she does it really well, especially if that someone is reaping the benefits that someone with more talent in their pinky wouldn't get. The wedding was set. The date was coming up, and the orchestra was set to play at the wedding, giving Dina a final farewell. Everyone would attend except Hazel. She was sick.
I'm sick. Boo, you whore.
There was no way Hazel would ever attend, but she sure was happy to say goodbye to Dina. She does not like Dina, guys. The wedding day came, the band went to perform, and Hazel stayed back in her apartment, catching up on some TV she never gets to watch. She scanned over the news when she spotted a familiar face. Dina's maid of honor being interviewed. The headline below read, "Bride pronounced dead at wedding after freak accident? Dina's dead?" Ah! Me reacting to what I wrote. I actually got this idea from a prompt generator that said, "murder wedding," and I was like, okay. So I squished it in there. I think Dina as a ghost will come through really strong to Hazel, stronger than Hazel's ever had before. Music won't work on Dina like it usually does. Maybe it's because Hazel knew Dina. I haven't worked out all the kinks yet. I really love the idea of her always being in a wedding gown. It really gives Haunted Mansion vibes. Man, old Disney rides. They put something in them. I think Dina will turn viewing Ghost around for Hazel, and she'll see it as a more positive thing again, like how she did when she was younger. But it's a long road. Hazel does not like Ghost Bride. No. Ghosts in this universe have a time limit on how long they are conscious and aware. They have a certain amount of time to move on to the afterlife, and if they don't finish their business before, they start to forget who they are and even how to talk properly. After that, they are bound to the world, and even Hazel can't help them move on. I feel like I've added a lot to this story. The music aspect is getting drowned out a bit. Here she is, Ghost Girl. Her voice claim is Chi-Chi from Teen Beach Movie, and that's all I have to say.
You should make like the ocean and wave goodbye.
The one man! Woo! Let's hear it for him! Woo! I already have this dynamic, so I hope I made them different enough. His name will be Calvin Jefferson. I don't know about this one's name. If you got any suggestions, let me know in the comments. It kind of grew on me, but I'm still not sure. The personality generator gave me the angriest and angstiest character I've ever seen. Like, look. I'm going to tone him down a bit from this, but I will retain this brick wall of a man as much as possible. Just make him like 50% more likable. I did change his hair quite a bit from the reference picture. I just wanted him to have a George Michael mullet so desperately. I had to do it. My hand slipped and I couldn't stop it. I'm so sorry, it was an accident. Calvin is a very rigid person. He likes routines and takes his job very seriously. He is a violinist as well. I did want to keep him on the drums, but I needed Hazel and him to be close rivals desperately. I needed it. Calvin is the 5th chair violinist, one below Hazel, and they fight about it often. Calvin is beefy. I like to believe that Calvin takes a lot of his frustration out in working out at the gym. He definitely wears those crop tops that they had to wear in the 80s for men because they weren't allowed to take their shirts off at the gym. Calvin never goes out with the others. He doesn't go to parties. He doesn't have any close friends. He is on that grind all the time. Most in the orchestra have a second job since it doesn't pay well, and Calvin works at a local diner when he's not practicing or working at the concert hall. He rarely smiles or seems to enjoy things. There's not a single time that Hazel or anyone in the orchestra has ever seen him laugh or even grin a little bit. She finds him so irritating and he feels the same way right back. Hazel and him fight over anything. They are so different in so many ways. The one thing they do share is their dislike for Dina. Everyone else fawns all over her, but they stood on common ground when it came to her. After she died, there was a big amount of guilt for them though. Dina tries to tell Hazel she doesn't think it was an accident. She believes she was poisoned. Hazel, feeling as though she has a moral obligation to Dina after trashing her for so long, accepts, helping her move on to the afterlife. And somehow, she ropes Calvin in as well. Here he is. I know I say something like he kinda about every man I've ever created, so I'll switch it up. I'll just play this.
I'm gnawing at the iron bars of my enclosure.
I hope that works. To end off this video, I drew some additional pieces exploring the character dynamics a bit. I think this story has mega character development potential. Like, can you just imagine Calvin smiling for the first time? Or Hazel and Dina's relationship growing after they find common interests or something? But it's tragic because they can never really be as close as if they knew each other better before Dina died. I swear I'm going to make a comic someday. I just don't know which one to make first. Different eras of time and fashion is a big hyperfixation of mine, so this scratched an itch for sure. Also, something about wacky ghost stuff is fun to me. Like Lockwood and Co. vibes. Anybody watch that show? Good. I didn't expect to like this story as much as I did. I did take more time on this video just to try and get something that I felt I was happy with. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry if any of this was confusing. I enjoyed this challenge a lot, and I think it's just the right amount of vague and on the nose for the prompts. Even though a lot of it took some mega daydreaming. I'm a daydreaming expert.
But you seem like a Walmart expert.
I made an Eye into the Unknown playlist, so check it out on Spotify. It's all period accurate songs. Have fun if you care. Let me know in the comments which character was your favorite. Let me know any ideas you have for this story. I'd love to hear. Like, share, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100K by the end of this year. Fingers crossed. If I don't, it's whatever. But come on, Fartleys, we can do it. That's your new fan name, Fartley Army. I'm just kidding. Alright, as always, peace.